TAKASHII is a Japanese YouTuber who gives insanely helpful advice for those who either want to visit or move to Japan. He conducts interviews with both Japanese natives and foreigners and documents their experiences in Japan. He'll ask questions in these interviews that relate to work culture, dating, language and speaking, economy, and all sorts of these questions. And why does he do this? Because he wants to be helpful. That's the number one thing. This is why I love this man. Of course, TAKASHII doesn't only upload these interviews and these documentations, he also does just some normal videos. Although he doesn't upload them as often, sometimes he will upload videos of Japanese people trying American snacks. And other times he would go around Japan asking people just random questions. What game are you playing right now? What is your favorite anime? Or what is the most underrated anime? One time he went into an underground car meet in Tokyo. But the interviews are his main pieces of content. For anyone who wants to move to Japan or visit Japan, these videos are insanely helpful for you. Of course, I'm 17 and I've watched anime for all my life and I've always wanted to visit Japan or move there. And obviously I can't do that. I need to go to college and I need to get a good paying job first. So that's out of the question for me until at least my 30s. Not to say I can't go visit Japan at least in my 20s. But the people in these interviews do give very helpful advice. I've watched plenty of them, and people have given really good and specific advice on how to get a visa to come to Japan, learn how to speak the language better, how to learn how to write better. And also, the people that are only half Japanese or not Japanese at all, they have the experience that they are sharing. Such as one guy who's British, but he was born in Japan, so he's technically not Japanese, but he's Japanese at heart. And I feel like these experiences and learning everything about Japan is very helpful. As you know, anime is just a glorified version of Japan. It's only taking the good things out of Japan, and that's in a slice of life anime. Obviously, shonen is much different, but the point is that Japan isn't like what's in the animes. So watching these videos has given me a lot of insight into how Japan really is, and everybody sharing their experiences is very helpful. Nik Nocternal is a metal YouTuber. Yes, I listen to metal, and I'm just starting to get into the genre. I've not listened to as many metal bands or songs as I have, for example, rock, but I still find metal very intriguing. I first found Nik Nocternal when he did a reaction to the React channel's Gen Z Reacts to Slipknot. And since then, his style of editing, his style of reactions, and all these different videos he does, it has piqued my interest. So I've stuck around and I've watched more of his videos, and they are very interesting. Most of his videos are cut from his live streams on Twitch, while some of them are authentic recordings, though they're not live. And he always makes sure to make his videos interesting, and whether it's interesting through his reactions, through his commentary, or whatever he does in the video, it's never just plain and boring. It's never the same thing every video. Of course, there's other things he uploads. He doesn't just upload reactions. Sometimes he'll go through metal TikTok, sometimes he'll do a try not to laugh, and sometimes he'll upload his own original music. And there's even a time where he played a game based on Avenged Sevenfold. So Nik Nocternal is definitely my go-to music YouTuber. I personally watch No Life Shack for reactions. But when it comes to metal, Nik Nocternal is the best for me. He may not be the best for you, but he is for me. He also has a podcast just titled the Nik Nocternal Podcast, where he goes around interviewing many different members of metal bands. The most recent one I watched, which is also my first one I've watched from him, is the Sean Crahan interview. Sean Crahan is the clown mask in Slipknot and is the percussionist. And it was funny enough because in this interview, Nick only asked him about one question, and that was if he played Minecraft. And he went on about Minecraft for the entire interview, which I found very entertaining. I watched this interview on YouTube, but I'm going to transition over to Spotify soon, just so I don't have to be staring at the screen the entire time while I'm listening. And I want to also listen to every other podcast he's done. He's done one with Matt Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold. He's even done one with Moist Critical. So this is definitely something I've been interested in, and I've always wanted to listen to podcasts, but I just never have the time. cscoop is another channel I really like to watch, and although this one isn't really for people under the age of 16, I still enjoy it, even though obviously I'm 17. But cscoop basically is a second channel, whereas his main channel is just random videos that don't really have a category. cscoop's second channel is about Minecraft, and mostly him playing games with his friends, different mini games and challenges on Minecraft, while progressively getting higher during each game, or each progressive moment. For example, he did 1 block skyblock, but every time they did something, like they got to the end portal, or they built another portal, they built a house or a mob spawner, they would have to take a bong rip and slowly get higher throughout the video. Now, this spot I was originally going to give to Eric Khan, another content creator who does smoking on camera, but I don't really watch him because it's just him in the screen, in the camera, just smoking. It's not very interesting. He'll talk about something, but it just doesn't have that layer of something that I want to watch. While cscoop, obviously, they're getting high. You can't see them getting high, since I'm sure that wouldn't be allowed on YouTube, especially combined with Minecraft. But he does it interesting because it's combined with Minecraft, and there's a group of them. It's not just one person getting high while we stare at their face. So there are a lot of inappropriate language, there's a lot of inappropriate references and stuff, but overall, it's a really good channel, and I really love watching the dynamic between the group. My favorite video so far was 1 block skyblock, but high grid and highcraft survival games were all really good. I'd like to give some honorable mentions. Like I said, I would like to give an honorable mention to Eric Khan, since he is another smoking YouTuber, but he just doesn't do it as interesting as cscoop. There's also Corey Kinchin, who I don't watch as often as I want to, but I really love his gameplays and his spooky scary some days, not Sundays, it's whenever now. And he does it really interesting, and he manages to keep it child friendly, although sometimes if there's text in the games that he plays where somebody would swear, then he just kind of leaves it in, though he reads it and he censors himself saying it. And also Scott the Woz, he does very interesting gaming videos. He talks about different games and technology in the Nintendo world, not just Nintendo, just like physical gaming, like console gaming, that's the word. And the second to last channel I'd like to give an honorable mention to is SideQuest. If you watch YouTube in the 2010s, you'll probably know about the Runaway Guys, who was like a trio made of Chugga Conroy and his friends, and they would upload video games like Super Smash Bros. And some other Mario games, mostly Nintendo. And I really loved their Super Smash Bros. Melee series. Sorry, not Melee, their Super Smash Bros. Brawl series, and how they did the Subspace Emissary. So because of that, I found SideQuest, and they're basically the same thing. It's just a group of 4 or 5 friends who constantly kill each other in video games. Like, the Mario games are so interesting because while they are trying to actively beat the game, they are actively trying to troll each other as well, which adds another layer of depth to their videos. And the final channel I'd like to mention is Theo, just TZM or Theo. He is, I believe, 19 or 20, and he just does like these slice of life vlogs, day in the life of being a teenager, and I really love his videos, not because I relate to them, well I kind of do, since most of them is just him getting boba, going to a cafe, buying some manga, watching some anime, which I do all of those, so of course I relate to it a little bit, but it's just that these slice of life videos are very calming and relaxing, and I really enjoy them. He usually uploads every Sunday or every other Sunday, so the day before I go back to school on Monday is very comforting to watch just before I go to bed. His videos are no longer than 10 minutes at most, so it doesn't take a huge chunk of my day, and I'm able to watch a whole bunch of anime or YouTube before it, and just to detox from the day with Theo's videos is insanely cool. So while he hasn't fully gotten my attention, as he still posts pretty short vlogs and they're kind of repetitive, I still really enjoy it, and that's why he's an honorable mention instead of a main 3.
Yeah, sharp like an edge of a samurai sword, the mental blade cut through flesh and bone. No, my mind at peace, the word out of order, listen and the heat that gets colder.